So, Stuart Crown, welcome to the Crypto Princess channel. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, Stuart, I know you're based in Australia, which is absolutely amazing. Tell me, Stuart, when you were in high school, what kind of person were you?
I was very much the athletic type, but it was hard to sit still in class. And I found a lot of my time, going to the river or, going swimming or doing something that wasn't necessarily school at the time. Um, I probably wasn't there as much as I should have been. I guess a lot of people would say that. But I was definitely the more athletic type, more driven, more had to keep moving, up and physical sort of high school student, if you will.
Hmm. It's funny because I find that a lot with a lot of people that I interview for these crypto stories. They were not really present at school, if that makes sense. So it's just something that's just reoccurring with a lot of these stories. Just very quickly, I heard you got into crypto really quite early, 2013. Now, for those people who are unaware, crypto's Genesis block was on the 3rd of January 2009. 2013 was its first bull run. How did you hear about crypto so early?
So I had someone come over. It would have been a late night, about 8 o'clock at night, and they said, "Have you heard about this?" They were just absolutely astounded by this new internet money, if you will, that people were using online. So I had to really, really look into it, and I thought, a lot of things, a lot of the nasties, what people were using it for, that would have been, that's going to be a problem. That's probably going to be taken down. But what is this payment mechanism they're using? This seems so curious, and that's when I started to learn about, decentralization, open ledger system, just the tech. What I could see is the transfer of information and money of tomorrow, and it really sent me down a rabbit hole for at least 2 years of just learning everything and how Bitcoin works. You've got your halvings, you've got all different things that of moving money around a lot quicker than the current systems are today. It's completely decentralized, and I saw we the people took back our power.
Hmm. That's quite astonishing, actually, because at the time, Bitcoin was pretty much dismissed by everyone. What made you stop and actually look into it?
Truth be told, it was a story my mother told me when I was about 11 years old, about a movie she watched, and she said that in the movie they all had digital credits. Everyone didn't use real money anymore; they used digital credits. So I thought, interesting. And she always said Visa cards were the first step, or credit cards were the first step. So I saw this as somewhat of a logical step to the next way of transferring money to one another with credits as such.
Hmm. And did you invest in 2013?
I did. I had a $9,000 investment from a redundancy package from when I was working in Victoria, in Melbourne, of Australia. And yeah, I put a lot of it. Bitcoin was around $151 Australian at that time.
Oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. So you had so much conviction. I don't think I would have done that.
Now, I was definitely pointed out for, oh, you're a bit insane, and I was like, no, I was very much one of these early people like, no, it's going to be the money of tomorrow. And I just held out. Obviously, I sold bits off here and there over time, but no, still holding a decent amount of my Bitcoin I bought back from then. It even accumulated more over time.
That's amazing. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about friends and family. So when they heard that you were putting so much money into Bitcoin, what sort of advice were they giving you?
Look, they didn't really, no one really gave advice. I come from a bit of a small country town, if you will, and a lot of people really didn't understand the internet, let alone, what is this new emerging disruptive technology of cryptocurrency. So they all thought I was definitely absolutely insane, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about it for a very long time other than Reddit forums.
Okay, so you're very much a rebel. I'm really very impressed, actually.
Yeah, I've definitely had that streak in me my whole life.
So, okay, so we had 2013. So, for those people who are not aware, in 2013 we had two peaks. We had the first peak, which was caused by the Cyprus banking crisis. There was a lot of issues in Cyprus. Obviously, we'd come out of 2018, the financial crisis. We had a lot of people put their money in because of the Cyprus crisis, but then we had Mt. Gox, who suspended withdrawals for a day or something. And because of that, it just literally went up and down. And then towards the end of 2013, there was a lot of people from China who came in. And again, the price went up. And then obviously we had the China FUD where they said that they were going to ban Bitcoin, and then it went down. So at the end of 2013, we slid into a bear market. Were you aware? I'm guessing you were not aware of the difference between a bull market and a bear market.
Didn't have one comprehension of it, didn't know it existed at all. I was more just deep diving into the mechanism or even the code that is Bitcoin. I was playing around with back-end engineering on it. I was just, trying to, how do you implement coins? I didn't focus on the market at the time, even though I thought, hey, this could be something, and why is it always going down? But I just stuck true to sticking to understanding the technology in total of what it could do. And that's where, I really played it out into that 2016 area where I started to really focus around other altcoins and how people are improving contracts or improving blockchains.
Okay, so let's talk about 2016. So we had 2013, it was about the first Bitcoin's first bull run. 2014, which was the first bear market. 2015 was a recovery year. 2016 was, I do apologize, was Bitcoin's halving year. So in 2016, what happened? What did you dive in a little bit deeper?
Yeah, I did. That's I've been focusing so much time from that 2013 to 2016 era that I needed to really focus on bringing some income in for myself. So I took a little bit of a back seat from about 2015 to 2016. But once it was around May 4th, 2016, I started to really hone in on what are altcoins. What is this XRP everyone's talking about that's 0.006 of a cent? What is, Stellar? What is XMR? Just understanding now what they were doing and taking that programmable money. The first time I saw Ethereum in 2016, it was being marketed to me as Bitcoin 2.0, the programmable money. So it was very much where my DeFi journey started and just broadened my horizons. Like, okay, now we're evolving quicker than I thought we could actually, or ever where we were going to go. It's now more than just monetary. It's more programmability, automation, all in one. So that's what really intrigued me at that time with crypto.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Ethereum. So in 2015, Ethereum was launched. It was launched as the computer of the world. We had, for the first time, we had NFTs, we had smart contracts. 2016, you heard about it. Did you invest before the 2017 bull run? Did you invest before the 2017 bull run?
Yeah, so I invested heavily into three types of coins. What I saw was stores of value, DeFi, and privacy coins at the time. So I was buying all, your XMR, your Dash, your Zcash. I was mining the day that Zcash came out. I was mining it to try and get it, put it on my exchange and sell it as quick as I could, because at the day, Kraken actually were offering $30,000 per Zcash coin, and I was right there at the beginning. So that sort of helped me boost a little bit more. And within a few hours, they actually had a supply and the price went down to around $100 a coin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about 2017. So 2016 was a bull run. Traditionally after 2016 was a halving year. Traditionally after a halving year, you have a bull run. 2017 was an explosive bull run. It was my favorite bull run. The price of Bitcoin started at around about $1,000 and it literally went all the way up to $20,000 in Q4. It was a beautiful bull run. If you look at the chart, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
A lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost a huge amount of money. ICOs was the thing of the 2017 bull run. A lot of institutions came in to crypto in 2017. Legitimacy was added in 2017, but also it wasn't anywhere near what it should have been. There was a lot of scams. A lot of the ICOs did turn out to be scams as well. So 2017 was the first bull run that you actually knew what crypto was. How did 2017 play out for you?
So it played out quite well. I had, well as it could have at the time with my level of knowledge, I should say. I realized, in that last Q4 of 2017, it just felt like you could do nothing wrong. If you'd invested 6 months earlier, didn't matter what coin you had, you were getting that 4, that 5, that 10x even on coins. I remember watching XMR go from $1.80 all the way up to about $750, which blew my mind. I felt like I could do no wrong. And then I did cash in a little bit. I thought, hey, now it's time to take some money, but I left a large sum in the crypto space. And then, doomsday of 2018 or the 2018 bear market, that's when I started to go, okay, I need to make money in the downturn market as well.
So in 2017, you must have felt like a superhero, like absolutely amazing. A lot of people felt so good.
Yeah, it was you're feeling that this is life changing. I've just changed my life from, some internet money that people have laughed at me about for years. And now I'm getting the phone calls and all the whole, yeah, we knew you were going to do it. And, they were happy to sit there and, sort of sit there and go, what are you doing it for? And, these were the same people who were ringing me going, oh, I knew you were always going to do it, all that sort of stuff. So that was very much an eye opener of, okay, I've really changed my life in a few months here.
Let's talk about 2018. So we had the halving year 2016, the bull run year 2017. 2018, we had the bear market. Now, towards the end of 2017, the SEC came in and it started to issue Wells notices. There was also economical concerns. It was also naturally the end of the 4-year cycle. 2018 hit, we hit the bull run really hard. Within literally no time, everything had fallen, and it fallen really, really hard. Were you aware of the difference between the bull market and the bear market?
Didn't have a single clue about it. I was so new to my investing journey at the time. I had no understanding. I was just very grateful that I'd cashed in a large sum. But as I mentioned, I still had a large sum in there and was just every week just watching it plummet and plummet and plummet. And that's when you need to take this seriously and what you're going to do to learn it more.
Sorry, that's the cat. Yeah, it's on the book.
Yeah.
Okay, also in 2017, so you lost quite a lot. What stopped you from selling everything? Because a lot of people do panic and they just literally sell their entire bags. They think it's going to go down to zero.
Oh, look, I guess I never really thought of selling. It was more, how do I improve on my knowledge base so that I can make money in a downturn market? And that's, I was like, all right, now obviously selling at these highs is really good. Market cycles were the new thing to me to learn. And I was like, but there's got to be more ways to actually generate funds from the market, even being from a speculative base, to generate money in these downturn markets. Where are we going to go? Obviously, there's a good old saying that, bull markets make you money, bear markets make you rich. That's when I was like, okay, I need to stick it out. I believe in the technology. I've seen its evolution. Now what's next? Just stick with it and stick with it hard. So I just kept purchasing and purchasing for as long as I could. And then I started on my learning how to leverage trade or be speculative of future pricing. And that was a journey in itself. There's a big learning curve when it comes to actually trading. But as you would know, I'm sure you've interviewed people before that are quite successful in their own right in what they do in the trading era.
There is a massive difference between investing and trading. So with investing is like watching paint dry and grass grow. And if you're not doing it like that, you're doing it wrong. And then obviously we have trading, and there's many different types of trading. There's scalping, day trading, swing trading, position trading, copy trading, bot trading, all the rest of it. What made you want to trade, and how difficult was it?
Look, I knew there was always ways to generate money out of crypto. Just obviously coming off the back end of such a life-changing win, I knew that there had to be more that I could learn. So learning how to trade just seemed like the next logical step for me. I'm very speculative. I'm very driven. I love numbers. Even not going to school, still do quite well in math because I just have a fascination of numbers. And having ADHD made it easier to actually watch the charts. Like it's like a superpower. If you've got a hyper focus, just hyper focus. And it was very much a learning curve. I'm not going to say it's impossible for everybody, but it's definitely difficult. I refer to it as trying to learn how to surf and ride a push bike at the same time.
I mean, most traders actually give up within the first couple of months, but you stayed on and you continued to learn how to trading. Were you also working at this time?
I was, yeah, I was still doing your knock around jobs. I had from the 2018 to obviously 2019, I had a pregnant partner. So I was also in the mindset of having a family, and I need to make this work. And there is no plan B. I'm going all in. I'm going to make this my life's work, and I'm not going to stop until I get success.
How does she feel about it? How does she feel about crypto?
Oh, when I was showing her numbers on the phone, look at this, it's gone up, it's great. But obviously, her not having any sort of understanding of what I was doing, she had to sort of look at it when the bear market was there and go, okay, are you going to take this seriously? What are you doing? We're not seeing any returns from it. Or, maybe you should change. And I was still working a 9 to 5, but I just refused to give up.
So we had the 2018 bear market. 2019 was a recovery year. Let's talk about 2020. So 2020 was COVID. A lot of people were losing their jobs, a lot of people dying, a lot of businesses were closing. There was a lot of uncertainty. We didn't really know what we were doing. I think it was a lot different in Australia, though, because I have a feeling you handled COVID a lot better than we did. Did you never think that crypto was going to go down to zero? You might as well take out all your money and it's literally the end.
No, by that stage, I'd watched the evolution of it from 2013, and it was just, there was no giving up. Like, it was going to have its lull times, which I call when we're in the bear market, but then it has its up times. Was I expecting such an influx during the COVID uptake and all that sort of stuff while everyone was locked down and the prices were going through the roof at one point? No, I didn't, but I'm definitely glad I'd positioned myself at the time with meme coins and learning how all these tokens and Binance smart coins and Ethereum coins or tokens were being created, that I was getting onto them quite early. And it felt like the 2017 cycle, just a lot more degenerate, if you will, with these coins coming out of nowhere and then blowing up in price. You had your Safe Moons, your Shiba Inus, all that sort of stuff popping off. And it felt good. If you picked a good narrative in the early days in 2021 and threw money at it, there was no stopping you. You were just going up.
In 2020, we did have the COVID crash where Bitcoin fell from, I think it was 9,000 something down to 3,200. That was a massive shock for everyone. And that was a huge correction of over 60%. What did you do at the time? Were you buying or were you just hodling?
I was just hodling at the time. I was still honing in on my trading skills and trying to find my edge at that time, and was getting quite close. So that sort of became my main focus. I realized that Bitcoin's going to go up or down. It just seems to hit higher highs over the years. So just accumulate at this stage.
Again, what happened in 2020 was that a lot of money was printed. A huge amount of money was printed. And as a result, we had things like stimulus checks. There was a lot of money that went into stocks to prop up the stock market. And what we tend to see is money's printed, it goes to the stock market, and then it finds its way into Bitcoin and crypto. Towards the end of 2020, going up into 2021, we had an explosion in crypto. The price just shot up. Then in April 2021, at the high of 64,000 US dollars, the price cycle top was hit. And also we had China come out to say that it was going to ban Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin fell. We had other things as well. We had Tesla selling and, all the rest of it. Bitcoin fell 50% and it arranged at 30,000 for a good couple of months before the Bitcoins were taken off the exchanges. When they were taken off the exchanges, we had a supply shock, and that then led up to the November 2021 bull run where we hit the actual all-time high of 69,000 US dollars. We hit the high, we had economical concerns. The SEC again came in issuing Wells notices to cryptocurrency exchanges, to cryptocurrency projects, and naturally it was the end of the bear market. It was a very, very difficult bull run. It wasn't like 2017, which the chart was just going up. 2021 was very, very difficult. Bearing in mind that in November 2021, everybody thought it was going to hit 100,000 US dollars, and the Pi cycle top wasn't even hit. It was pretty much a dead cat bounce. How was it for you? You lived through that.
Yeah, so I'd had a good grasp, obviously studying it for so long now. I had a good grasp, but hey, we're hitting that euphoria. And I've actually got a message I screenshotted out of the first ever crypto group that I created with a bunch of friends where I stated, does anyone in November, is anyone feeling the bears yet? And that's when I was starting to cash in on a lot of these, Poly or Matic, I should say, Matic at the time, Poly now, waiting for it to, just plummet, because I've been through this before. I knew what was coming. It wasn't going to catch me a second time. So I managed to cash in a lot of profits at that stage and then sort of go, okay, how long are we going to be sitting in this downturn for?
When it hit the high of 64,000 in April, Pi cycle top was hit, and then we plummeted for a good couple of months, and we ranged at 30 odd thousand for a good couple of months. What was that time for you? Did you panic?
Look, I'd be lying if I stood here and said, no, I was great through it. No, I had my concerns. I was very looking at it going, oh no. It was a bigger plummet. I felt, obviously I had a lot more money in the market at this time. My trading was going in the right direction, but I was definitely very scared because, or I'd say starting to be very scared in some aspects that I'd heavily invested in Luna. I put some money where we all know what happened with Terra Luna. That caught me out, just like many of us. FTX, I was lucky that I wasn't part of FTX. We've got a set of exchanges over here that we all like to use, and I didn't have any money at FTX, but I was looking at it at the time to place money in. So I was very lucky there, but definitely still got hurt a little bit, but I positioned myself a lot better than the previous years.
Awesome. How did you feel when you made a lot of money in 2021? What sort of things were you buying? Were you living a super style sort of lifestyle?
No, I had a brand new baby at the time, and she was just growing up. So buying a house and all the responsibilities of being an adult came into play. So that's where a lot of my investment went. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to buy the flash things and the nice motorcycles and jet skis, but obviously putting the family in a house seemed like the more responsible thing to do with my money. And it was, okay, you've done it again, you've made good money. What's next? Looking after and growing this family seems like a plan. So let's focus on that. So that's where a lot of my attention and investment went at that stage.
Okay, so let's look at 2022. So we've covered 2020, which was a halving year, 2021, which was a bull run year, 2022, which was a bear market. So a lot of things happen in the bear market. There are a lot of black swan events, and we had our fair share of big black swan events. We had Luna, FTX, Voyager, Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, all of these companies. It kind of seemed overnight these massive companies were pretty much going to zero. It was very, very scary. Very scary. How was the bear market for you?
Look, it was the best time to restructure. I started my first business back then in education. I realized I'd been in here for so long. I'd done quite well. Obviously, I'd still taken some hits, but I'd still done better than what I'd lost in crypto. And I started my first, real education platform for people just trying to get into the market. Everyone had heard about the big gains and all this sort of stuff, but I wanted to keep people safe. So I started my first educational platform through Discord, and just started educating people on, what are NFTs, why are they valuable at the moment, what is a cycle, here's, how we trade as well. I was trying to cover as many things that I'd mastered over the years in the industry to try and relay them to other people, not only to help them in their lives, but to keep them safe, because how many of us have got an email that says I can make 150% on your Bitcoin or something like that over the years? So I guarantee a lot of people in our era have seen those emails come through.
I mean, the 2022 bear market was so severe that there's a lot of people who are not in crypto today because of what happened in 2022. Just before we move on, I think you've left work in 2021 at the height of the bull market.
Yeah.
Then came the 2022 bear market. Were you scared? Did you ever think, I've done the wrong thing?
Every day. Every day I did. It wasn't easy, definitely, because I left a job. As I mentioned, I had a small young family at the time, and I was building a business in crypto in a bear market. I always said to myself, one of the things that kept me going was, if I can build this business in a bear market, I can survive anything. So I stayed consistent. There was a lot to learn. Like someone who, been in crypto, been able to be on the forums, I hadn't used social media before. So that was a big learning curve of when you're starting a business and trying to bring people in to teach them, is that you need a social presence, which I did not have. So that was my learning curve at the time when, trying to maintain a relationship and raise a small family and keep all the bills paid, especially considering so much money was lost. Yes, a lot was gained, but definitely not as much as we'd all would have wanted, I guarantee.
So you started, obviously you've known about crypto since 2013. You've been looking into it, all the rest of it. 2018 in the bear market, you yourself started trading. 2022, 4 years later, you started to teach people how to trade. What was that experience actually teaching other people? You must have felt a huge amount of responsibility. You wanted to obviously keep them safe.
Very much so. And look, at first it was quite daunting stepping into it, and even with my first client and teaching them just how to operate, how to move money around, just some of the basic stuff so you and I have muscle memory for, they'd never done. And we were at a point in our crypto journeys when that was us. So just helping them fast track that, but the responsibility on me was quite daunting at first, and then I started to see people develop results, and that gave me reassurance of, I'm teaching them what I've done. It works for me. Why can't it work for them? And it's showing results that it is working for them. So that slowly dissipated over time, but I was very, very intimidated by it at first.
Let's talk about 2023. So 2022 was the bear market. 2023 was the recovery year. Not too much happens in the recovery year, but it was quite special for you because you joined Crypto Calls Australia. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I realized after doing what I've been doing for like starting my first business in the space in a bear market, that I couldn't do it all by myself. I just had gaps in knowledge. There was not enough hours in the day, as some people would say. I was working massive hours to try and make it, work. And then I saw a advertisement on a Facebook story. Never heard of the company before. Organized a meeting for him, and he asked me, why should you be working here? It's this, brand new startup. And I said, why shouldn't I be? I want to be a part of a community. I want to have someone to talk to. I was a little bit arrogant, but I was more just, I've been in the space long enough. I just want people to speak to and, educate on what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. And they see the stories. Now they can actually meet someone who's doing what they want to do and who's willing to put themselves out there to show you how they do it so you can learn it as well. And they were just like, come on board. So started Crypto Calls when it was about a month and a half old, and have just been working and built that up to what it is today.
You had a small family, you had a young family, and you're putting yourself out there. You're discussing crypto as well. I know because I've seen you in real life, you are a very, very big man. But did it ever occur to you that it might not be the safest thing to do?
It did. It did occur to me. That's why, I've done certain things. I try not to put my family on there. So I have a daughter. Obviously, I'm happy to talk about her, but I don't put her up on social media. I've got a big belief that it should be her choice if she wants to put herself out there. So it was very daunting. I go, okay, you're dealing with money. You're dealing where there are there's going to be nasty people everywhere. That was my biggest concern was, am I getting too big for myself and I'm not, watching out. But I am a big guy, and I guess that is little bit of a deterrent sometimes. But definitely thinking about how this is going to play out for my family. I always believed in the technology, but I had definitely some doubts of myself and my abilities at that time. I've slowly just broken down those barriers in myself to elevate, to get to the point where I'm able to talk to yourself and other people in the industry who put themselves out there to go, this is what we do and this is how we do it.
Mhm, mhm. How did family feel about you putting yourself out there? And then also tell us about your daughter. Does she ever watch Daddy?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things there. My family weren't too concerned. They were more just go and do it. If it doesn't work, then you've learned how not to do it. So just keep knocking it away. But as for my daughter, yeah, we do spend a little bit of time. So I'm separated from my partner at the time. So I have my daughter every weekend, and we do a thing called what she calls daddy work, where we sit at the computer and we learn the charts. And I try and teach her financial literacy at 6 years old, so that because I believe that's the greatest gift a parent can give their child.
Mhm, mhm. Let's talk about last year, 2024. It was a halving year, but a lot of legitimacy was also added into crypto with Donald Trump running on crypto and winning, having the first president in the United States who was crypto positive, if that makes sense. Um, it was a difficult year for altcoins. It was an amazing year for Bitcoin. But for altcoins, we had a little run up in 2020, sorry, in quarter one, another little run up in quarter four, pretty much dead. Meme coins did very, very well though. How was last year for you? And how did people's perception change, knowing that a lot of legitimacy was now added into crypto?
I saw a lot more people. If I say it, like I talk to people as much as I can. As I said, it's my life's work. I love talking about it, and we're seeing a lot less resilience towards it out of the younger generation right now. The older generation, they're more like, all right, how do I invest in it? We got some legitimacy. They're always the ones saying, hey, can you invest for me? And you've sort of got to, no, I can't do that. You've got to, happy to teach you how to buy it and to store it for yourself, but I can't hold your money. That wouldn't be, ethical, nor do I have the licensing to do so. So I'd rather teach you in the same things that I've learned from it as it's been evolving over time. But definitely a lot more people more open to it, if you will. Oz CryptoCon was just a couple of weeks ago, and apparently the reports I've been given back is that it's bigger than it was last year. So there's more people coming into the space, and I guess I've mentioned this to a few people as well. I feel like we are a little bit behind. We do have a lot more people still asking the same question: is it real? Whereas if you go to the States, or you go to anywhere in Asia, or you go to Dubai or UK, a lot more people are like, yeah, I know what it is. Yep, this is how it works. Yes, do you own it? Yes, I own it. We're seeing that a lot more of that adoption take place at the moment over here in Australia, at least anyway.
Let's talk about 2025 now. So in 2025, we met at the CCC. You've been traveling around the world on crypto, and also the business is doing really, really well. Tell me about how 2025 has been for you.
Absolutely explosive year. That's where I'm getting a lot of my statistics, not just out of the events that are being hosted, but the explosion in people and the willingness to learn more about crypto, whether it be trading or it be purchasing or how to set up, legitimate trusts and all that sort of stuff around it so they can protect themselves with crypto has absolutely exploded. So, just that persistence. And 2025 has been one of the best years so far for obviously the business, traveling the world. We recently hosted a Thailand event, which went absolutely amazing. We're seeing great results from people who attended that, and there's more of that to come in the future. And we've got more events that we host around Australia, and definitely getting a lot more people showing up to them now. So it's been an absolutely amazing year, whether it be just in crypto trading, or it just be in the business. It's been an absolute explosive year, which I'm so glad that I stuck it out for.
Yes, and it wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy. It's really difficult actually being in crypto. Um, Tell me about your goals for the future then.
hmm Definitely, obviously, you want to be that person retired. I'm getting close to 40 now, and I'm looking down the path of, okay, what sort of things do I need to have in place for retirement? So I'm looking at that. But right now, it's very teach as many people as I can and change as many lives as possible. And then once it gets to a point, I'm going to just step into the background and enjoy life quietly.
If you could go back in time and tell yourself something in 2013 when you first got into crypto, what advice would you give yourself?
Buy more. Just buy more. Just absolutely work it. Do the overtime. Buy more. I wish I hadn't have. I wish I'd tell myself not to listen to as much. So there was a little negative energy around me, and I wish I'd have told myself cut the noise out sooner. I would have played it out a lot differently to what it has, but I can't complain with how it's played out. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot as a person to be who I am today, and I get to meet lovely people like yourself.
If you had to tell youngsters in Australia, if you had to give them some advice on crypto, what would it be?
Focus on investing before you look down trading. Look at how it works. Focus on the technology. Don't focus on what will make me $1 million tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Focus on technology. And, as we know, knowledge first, then the money comes later.
That's amazing.
I'd be telling them to, smarten up and just focus on the technology.
Awesome. That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Stuart, for coming on and sharing your crypto journey with us. I don't actually get a lot of people from Australia. You're the second person I've had on from Australia. So that's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. No worries. And again, thanks for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here and to have met you in person as well.